In 2017, I had just gotten promoted to manager, and it was a really tough year. I was working 80-hour weeks. I was working till 2 a.m. in the morning. My relationship with God was just pretty much non-existent at that point. I was raised religious, but it was actually Mormonism, so it was very strict and it was very works-based. So grace was really just not a concept. So it was whatever you did was your salvation. You didn't just have it because you accepted Jesus in your heart. It just kind of felt like, I was racing towards this promotion and then I got it, and it felt empty. Like I didn't feel fulfilled by it, and I kept, raising in ranks and pay and status, and I still was so unhappy. It just wasn't enough, and it translated into feeling like I wasn't enough. I started journaling as a way to just take everything that was in my head and put it down on paper. So for me, that was really focused on dreams, and it was kind of a way for me to almost kind of escape the situation I was in and give me hope for what's to come. And as part of that, one thing that I've always wanted to do was start a business. So I started journaling just the business that I wanted to create. And part of that was recognizing that I needed help to get there. So I couldn't just do this by myself, right? I had been trying to do all of this for the last couple of years to get myself to this point. And so that's kind of what sparked this resurgence, this curiosity of who's God? There must be somebody out there, somebody I can pray to. It helped me really flesh out what I wanted or what I wanted to say, or just the relationship that I wanted to have with God. And the more I focused on it being a person, a real person, a friend that I could talk to, the more real it became to me. In 2017, I wrote down in my journal that in May 2019, I was going to launch my business. So in 2018, I actually moved to Copenhagen for 3 months, just completely by myself. And while I was over there, I feel like that was the place where God really met me. I think He's been there all along, but I just couldn't hear Him. And so I had to define myself by things other than my job or my title or who I was with or my relationships. In that moment, I discovered who I am doesn't depend on any of that. It depends on who God says I am. So I started digging into the Bible and reading, who does God say I am? I am a daughter of God. I am loved. I am wanted. I am, created in His image and everything that comes with that. And that's how I started defining myself. I returned back to New York, and the first thing I know I needed was a community. So I found C3 actually just online through a Google search. And the first time I went, I just remember everybody being so welcoming. I started getting more involved and just throwing myself all into it. And I had discovered that those things that I thought made me happy before, that really didn't. The thing that did bring me joy and gave me fulfillment was just getting closer to God, just spending time with God. And forming deep relationships based on Jesus being the center of it. I ended up launching my website in May 2019, which is exactly the date that I had written in my journal 2 years before that. That was just a big moment of just confirmation for me that God does really hear your prayers, and He knows what's on your heart, and He wants that for you just as much as you want it for you. I think if you have a dream on your heart, you really just have to bring it to God. He cares about all of those things. And, Jesus didn't go to the cross just so you can exist. He didn't die so you can work 80 hours a week and pay bills and just merely exist. He died so that you can live, so you can have a life full of passion and love and joy. Whatever it is that dream is, everybody has a dream. Lay it down at His feet. And just trust Him, test Him, see what He can do. Sometimes there's days that I call out, just, God, show me what you can do today. And those are the best days because you're not only just surrendered to His will, but you're pointing Him in the direction of the things that you love. And it's just amazing to be able to trust God with that. And everything that I'm going through is preparing me for the next thing. And that's something that I trust Him with completely.